Today, we're diving deep into a case that has gripped the world, the Danelo Cavalcante case. This chilling story involves a man who committed heinous crimes, not just once, but multiple times. From the brutal murder of a student in Brazil to his daring escape from a high-security prison in Pennsylvania, Cavalcante's actions have left a trail of shock and disbelief. In this video, we'll be unraveling the timeline of events, examining the details of his crimes, and discussing the implications of his actions on the justice system. So, buckle up as we delve into the dark world of Danelo Cavalcante. Before we go forward, please give the video a like and hit the subscribe button. That really helps the channel out. Danelo Cavalcante was born on July 3, 1989, in Brazil. Little is known about his early life, though it is known that Cavalcante ran into multiple legal issues in Brazil throughout his youth. Some Brazilian officials have described him as a former street gang member. His mother, Iracema Cavalcante, sees her son as someone whose life has trained him to live alone and overcome hardships. In November 2017, in the city of Figueirópolis, Walter Jr. Moreira dos Reis, a 20-year-old student, was fatally shot outside of a restaurant. The man behind this heinous act was Danelo Cavalcante. The motive for the murder was reportedly a vehicle repair debt that Dos Reis owed to Cavalcante. Cavalcante allegedly shot Dos Reis 5 times, leading to his untimely death. After the alleged shooting, Cavalcante is said to have stolen the victim's cell phone before fleeing the scene in a car. This incident marked a significant point in Cavalcante's life, setting him on a path of crime and evasion that would eventually lead him to become one of the most wanted men in Brazil. 1 week after the crime, the Brazilian justice system accepted a request for preventive detention made by the public prosecutor's office, issuing a warrant for him. Cavalcante became a fugitive and hid in a wooded area to prevent his arrest. In January 2018, Cavalcante fled Brazil and illegally entered the United States via Puerto Rico. Although there was an arrest warrant against him, Cavalcante was able to leave the country through Brasilia International Airport due to a miscommunication error. State law enforcement had not requested the registration of the decision in the National Warrant Registry until 7 months after the crime, in June 2018. After fleeing Brazil, Cavalcante chose Puerto Rico as his first destination. The exact details of how he managed to enter Puerto Rico are not clear. It could have been through various means, such as by air or sea, and possibly with the use of false identification or other deceptive methods. After reaching Puerto Rico, Cavalcante didn't stay there for long. He embarked on a journey to the mainland United States. He managed to secure passage on a boat that was headed to New York. Again, the specifics of how he managed to do this are not known. It's possible that he used similar deceptive methods as before or took advantage of lax security measures. After his arrival in New York, he made his way to Pennsylvania. The specific reasons why Cavalcante chose Pennsylvania are not clear from the available information. It's possible that he may have had connections or resources there, or it may have simply been a destination of convenience or opportunity. In 2019, while living in Chester County, Pennsylvania, Cavalcante met Debra Brando, another Brazilian national, through a mutual friend. They started dating soon after meeting. Initially, Cavalcante was described as being nice to Debra and her 2 children and seemed normal, although he was often very silent, observant, and reserved. However, over time, a darker side of Cavalcante emerged. Debra began to notice that he was extremely jealous and that his behavior changed when he drank. In December 2020, Debra filed a protection from abuse order against Cavalcante. The order alleges that he had a history of assaulting Debra. There were incidents where Cavalcante was said to have bitten Debra and chased her from her home. In another incident, he chased her with a knife. On April 8, 2021, Danelo Cavalcante brutally attacked his ex-girlfriend, Debra Brando. In a shocking act of violence, Cavalcante stabbed Debra 38 times. This gruesome act was committed in front of Deborah's two young children, who were just 4 and 7 years old at the time. Investigators believe that the murder was triggered when Deborah discovered Cavalcante's outstanding warrant in Brazil and threatened to expose him. After the murder, Cavalcante fled the scene. However, he was taken into custody just a few hours later. The key to Cavalcante's swift arrest was Deborah's 7-year-old daughter. After witnessing the horrific crime, she was able to identify Cavalcante as the perpetrator to the police. Danelo Cavalcante's trial for Deborah's murder began on August 16, 2023, in Chester County and lasted for less than a week. The evidence presented by the prosecution team during the trial was overwhelming. It included the eyewitness testimony of Deborah's daughter, accounts by Deborah's neighbors who helped rescue the children, and Cavalcante's own statement of responsibility to police after his arrest. The jury deliberated for just 15 minutes before convicting Cavalcante of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison on August 22, 2023. This crime carries a mandatory life sentence without parole in Pennsylvania. On August 31, 2023, Cavalcante escaped from Chester County Prison. Surveillance footage showed him in a narrow space between two walls in an exercise yard. He placed his hands and feet on either side and crab-walked up, out of view. He then ran across a roof, scaled a fence, and pushed his way through razor wire to freedom. The escape sparked a massive manhunt that lasted nearly 2 weeks. Despite numerous sightings and a search team of hundreds of officers, Cavalcante managed to elude capture. While on the run, Cavalcante altered his appearance, slipped the search perimeter, and even stole a rifle from a garage. On September 13, 2023, the manhunt for Cavalcante came to an end. Authorities confirmed that he was in custody. 2 tactical teams, one from the Pennsylvania State Police, another from U.S. Border Patrol, moved in on Cavalcante and deployed a police dog that subdued the fugitive before he was taken into custody. It's worth noting that a correctional officer had warned that Cavalcante was planning to escape a month before he actually did. However, these warnings were not heeded, leading to questions about the security measures in place at the prison. Cavalcante is currently being held in a Pennsylvania maximum security prison, State Correctional Institution, Phoenix, in Montgomery County. He is serving a life sentence for his murder conviction. Did you follow Danelo Cavalcante's case or his escape? Do you think that America needs tighter border controls to keep out criminals like Cavalcante? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. Till next time, signing off. This has been Christina.